Hello, hello. Come on in. Hey, Mike. Hey, Monica.
Hey, Rolonda.
How you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Kira.
Hi.
Hey, everybody, come on in. Hey, Rita. Hey, Althea. Where you got, guys? Where are you located?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. We got a Jersey girl in the house. Okay.
Yeah.
Illinois.
Carolina,
Illinois. Where's North Carolina?
South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. Okay, so we're the Kakalakis.
Yes, Carolina.
Yeah, I'm originally Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Awesome.
And I'm in Texas.
Texas. Okay, that's a good Southern twang thing.
By way of California.
Okay,
Long
that's
Island.
good.
Long Island, New York.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Bronx away.
Yeah.
I'm
You-
from Texas. This is Monica.
Hey, Monica. Hey,
Hi.
Monica. I put the chat up. Hey, good evening from New Jersey. Chibuzo, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see everybody. I tell you, because if you know me or you follow me, you know, talking voice acting and voiceover industry is one of my favorite things. And so it's always exciting to see people, no matter what, you know, what stage of the game you're in, there's always something to learn. I'm going to ask everybody to mute yourself. John, I'm so impressed that you're in your car here. I am so impressed. Hey, Takira, so good to see you. You know, that's the beautiful thing. You know, webinars, you can listen to them anywhere. And that's the thing I love about voice acting is it's something you can do from anywhere. It's like I'm in California right now. I'm in New York sometimes. Sometimes I'm on the beach. Sometimes I may be traveling. And I carry along my little trusty microphones and I can work from anywhere. I'm still doing my auditions. If I'm lucky, I'm still booking jobs and the work continues. And I'm working on my own time, at my own pace, whenever, wherever I want. I love the freedom. That was just one of the things that I love about voice acting. And I tell you, it's taken me far. As people are coming in, we were getting to see where everybody was from. I was so excited about that. The last webinar we did, we had a young, a mature mother. She was a grandmother from Japan who joined us. We've had soldiers from Afghanistan join us. And so I think it's a worldwide interest, this thing that we can do, these things that we can do with our voice. And our voices, I will say that too. So many of us have been told all of our lives we have beautiful voices. Oh, there's something about that voice, that everywhere you go, that voice, that voice, that voice. But what I'm going to ask and determine during this hour together is reminding you that voice acting is really all about acting. It's really not even about your voice. So you're saying like, oh, I have a great voice, but I don't like my voice. Everybody says that. You're not by yourself. But I'm going to say, stop that right now, because your voice is one of the most beautiful, or it's the most beautiful instrument on earth. It's such a God-given gift. And if you can use that craft, that art, and learn the techniques of acting with that voice, to be able to connect with another human being, to be able to pull emotion out of some copy on a piece of paper, enough to get somebody in 30 seconds to get up and go do something, to make somebody laugh or to buy something, to make somebody believe or to go out and vote. The power of your voice, just to make a kid giggle. Do you know how powerful cereal and cartoons are in the morning? You remember that as you were a child. Well, trust me, after 25 years as Professor Wiseman on Curious George, do you know that Curious George has won 2 Emmys? And I'm going to be bold and brag about it. Here is my medallion. It is the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Emmys for 40 years of contribution, endurance, leadership, and mentorship in daytime television. And I'm saying this to y'all because yes, I'm proud of it. Yes, I'm so proud, and thank y'all so much. I appreciate your whoop whoops. But I'm also saying that to tell you that this medallion represents not just my talk show, not just those things I did, in comedy or magazine news during the day, but a lot because of the voice work I did, y'all. And that surprised me when they gave me the medallion and had me walk down the red carpet, and I'm holding up a paper that says Divorce Court, Curious George, and Sherry. They say anything about the Rolonda show. All of those are my voice jobs, y'all. I had no idea that you could get an Emmy for voice acting many years ago. But I can remember the year when Judge Joe Brown, who I used to do the announcing for, and Curious George were both up for an Emmy, the same daytime Emmys, and I didn't know which table to sit at. Judge Joe asked me to walk with him down the red carpet. You never know where your voice can take you. And even if I talk about little Curious George, y'all laugh and say, oh, isn't that cute? Curious George, let me tell you something. That is one of that we are still the #1 animated series for children 1 to 5. It's one of those beautiful examples of work that we do that has gone from television into streaming. Remember, streaming and the internet is going to allow us a lot more opportunities as well. But I've gotten to work with people like William Macy, Keith David, Tyler Perry, to really maybe work with, but to do voice acting with them is a whole nother world for an actor. And to work with them in a whole different way. I can be anything. I can be the 26-year-old ingenue that's skinny. I can be the evil witch. I can be the narrator. And all of that is dependent upon me knowing my voice. Discovering, and let me tell you, Makai, I appreciate your dedication to Curious George, because as Professor Wiseman, let me tell you why I took that job. Because cartoons aren't just cartoons. Sometimes when we take jobs and we take on missions, particularly when we're artists, we have to remember that these are God-given things. And this is something that is there to uplift or to do something with your voice, more than just a cartoon. When I took on the job of Professor Wiseman, I was really excited about that because Professor Wiseman was now to be a woman. And this rocket scientist woman who ran the Museum of Natural History. She was friends with an animal, and she was a Black woman. And I thought if I came, this was almost 25 years ago, y'all. If I came in at that time, maybe I could inspire good little monkeys, our little kids, good little girls, to look into science and STEM programs and love animals and science and, nature. And so that was a real, one of those passion moments for me to do that. But I have been shocked and surprised at the places my voice has taken me, and all the way to this. So when you are curious about this craft and you wonder, can I make a career out of this? Can you actually get paid during this? Please remember this. I was exactly where you are right now, wondering the same thing. Dave Fenoy and I laugh all the time because he remembers when I was at Sutton Barth and Venari. I had just finished my talk show. I had just come out to California. And I knew I had a voice. I mean, people in New York know my voice from news and the talk show. And, I got one of those voices, they'll come out the room and say, what's Rolonda talking about now? 411. Back in the day when you'd call 411 and get information, the operator would say, is this Rolonda? I had a voice. So I thought, sure, I could break into voice acting. No, I got a voice.
Thank you.
Crickets. Because as much as I knew my voice, my baritone, my beautiful broadcasting voice, I didn't know shit about voice acting. Excuse my French. I didn't know it was acting with your voice. I had to go from being a broadcaster to talking to someone right across the table who's hanging out with me. It's not about being the broadcaster and putting a G on the end of every sentence. It's about just being real. And do you know how hard it is to go to just being real? When you hear these people on TV and radio and internet sounding real, they are acting their batuckuses off. They are really acting to connect with you. One of my students was Belina, and I can't believe this happened because you talk about voice acting. Where do we hear voice actors? Many of you guys are beginners, just fresh out, okay? How many of you have been piddling and pretty good at it? Been putting it together, got your equipment, okay? Mike, I see you, Sierra. How many of you are just full-blown pros working all the time? Okay, Sierra, I love it. I love it. Sierra, I want you to hop in and share some of your experience. And I would like to welcome Kiko because it's 8 o'clock in the morning over there in Japan. And
Wow.
she's back with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiko. Kiko is also taking my class. And what's so beautiful about the class is that it's online. So you can take it at your leisure, whenever you want, wherever you want, at your time, at your pace.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed this so much.
Good. Well, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear, because I tell you what will make the difference between this being a dream and a really scary place. Let's just call it what it is. A lot of us are in transition in some way, in reinvention when we come into this path, trying to find that next thing. And it's scary because it's like, well, what if I give up so much and do this and it doesn't work? What if I do it? My question is, what's going to happen if you don't? And I don't want to be living with a dream that never got wings, a dream deferred, as Langston Hughes would say. I want you to go for your dream, but I want you to make it a reality. What's Les Brown say all the time? A dream ain't nothing but sleep unless you take action. So I applaud you for being here. And I want you to understand that the voice acting industry isn't just something you fall into and you got a mic and therefore you're a professional. It doesn't work that way. This is one of the most mysterious industries. And let me tell you, for a very long time, not so long ago, let's just say a few years or not even that long before COVID, not everybody was in the industry. It was a very closed industry. I know I've been in it. Gosh, I've been a voice actor 30 years now. Out of my 40 years behind a microphone, 30 of those years has been as a voice actor. And I have seen the trends come and go and everything change. And now we've got technology and there's a different way of business and there's streaming and I love you for being scared. It's like I want to surf and all I see is tsunamis out there, but I see people surfing. How do they do it? Because they understand how the industry works. They know what those casting directors are looking for. They know how to break down those scripts. They know how to build just not characters, not forgettable characters, because they know how to do the audition, the art of the audition. They know the vocabulary. Let's say you got a session and they say, okay, Lauren, that was great. Now let's go back, pot it down a little bit and bring a little brightness into your voice. And I want you to go back, give me 3 in a row. And you're like, what did they just say? Your gain is a little, what? And then you freak out, your throat closes up. Because you're not prepared. You don't know the language. Right now, most of you in this room, including myself, let me tell you, I am constantly learning. Let's not get this twisted. That's why I go to all of these wonderful workshops and conventions. You never stop learning. but you gotta learn. And I do transparent. I do teach a class, but I'm not the only person. There are tons of people who teach classes. Just be careful out there. Get somebody that you really, groove with and trust. But learn the vocabulary. Learn listen, do you know how many different genres there are in voice acting? The answer, can you make a living? Yes, you can actually buy stuff off this. Now, is it easy? No. Might it come overnight? Probably not. So I have had some graduates who've gone on to do Trolls, the movie. That was Glozell. And then Carlise Burke graduated, went off to do Tweety Bird. She became Queen Tweety. She came to my class because she was mad at her agent for giving her a bunch of bird auditions. She was like, birds, I don't do birds. I said, birds are hot in cartoons. Get over here. I made her play a pigeon, a seagull, an eagle, a vulture, because they're all different birds. But if you want to do animation, I had an audition the other day and I had to play a bird, a mouse, and something else. What was it? A monkey. And I had to figure out, because I wanted to bring some of the characteristic of those animals into it. So I go on YouTube University and look up, how does a mouse squeak? Do you know there's a woman who teaches you how to squeak like a mouse? And it's really important if you want to be authentic. That's why they call it, it's like EAK, EAK. So when I a little thing in there, the monk was carrying balloons. These balloons are fun, to bring in a little authenticity, having fun with it. But there's research again, how to break down those characters, how to make them unforgettable so people remember you. Let's say your casting director says, oh, that was a great take here. Now I want you to go back and put a button on the end. What's that mean? Because I tell you, that might be the little thing that gets you the job. It's that funny little thing you say at the end that sometimes might add a little humor. Anytime you can add humor, everybody knows humor brings people together. So are there little places you can find humor? If there's a little pre-life to help you get into it. Some people read the copy and say, oh man, I can't get into this. I mean, it's about a bathtub. How does an actor get into that mode to bring everything down so that they can sell Calgon soap? What is that the actor does different than a physical actor? I mean, because you have to walk in the room as a vocal actor with your hand on your hip, raising your eyebrow, swirling your neck, and people have to see it with your big boobs. So how do you portray all of that? I know this is crazy. Yeah, it is. And you know what's so much fun? You'll be making the same kind of sounds you did at 4 years old. Because voice warm-up is important. That's important to learn too. Last time you did that, you were probably running something through some water. But those are those things that we learn about warming up 41 muscles in our face to help us perform. It would be such a shame if you didn't have that kind of training and you just went in to doing auditions. And let's say you had a medical audition. A lot of people in our age group, folks, are doing medical commercials because we've got that maturity in our voice. And we know you should go to the doctor. So we have that conviction and point of view in our voices. And we'll get asked to do those types of things. And don't be shy about it. Claim it. Claim your lane. What is your niche? That's the other thing that's great about really immersing yourself. If this is a dream that we want to make a reality, immersing yourself in situations where you can try out your voice. Many of us haven't discovered our voices yet. I'm still discovering my voice. And I'm using every little technique I've learned in workshops and improv classes and in comedy, all of that to support my craft. Always learning. So you always have a bunch of stuff, as I say, in your hip pocket to go to. I'm doing a sitcom right now called Mind Your Business, and I hope y'all are watching it on Bounce TV. Miss Evans Braley is one of the stars of the show.
Oh, I see.
And I play the matriarch of the family. But Lucille talks like this. She has a very different range than I do. One of the things that helped me create a great character was using my voice work. For you actors, it's going to blow out your acting ability. But what I'm saying is to find the character, I use the ranges I learned in voice acting. Can you be a 25-year-old harlot and then go up and play a little English lady who sells buttons at the party? And then you be a big old fat dinosaur. Or you could be like Frank Welker, who plays Curious George. He's also Scooby-Doo. He is the third highest actor of all time on Earth, and you never see Frank. He's in Transformers. It's Scooby-Doo since the 1960s. Can you imagine that man's residual? Here's the other part that education and learning in this is so important, is because you got to understand how the business works. This is just not only a craft of fun and oh, it's so much fun. I mean, how do you get paid to make up voices like you did when you were a kid? Or tell those stories that you do as a grandma, those voices you make up, y'all can get paid for that. I love, there was one voice actor who said, when I was a kid, I used to make up a lot of funny voices. And now I make sure all of them get paid. And it's true. But understanding the business, how does it work? And I'm going to tell you, we've been on that picket line. It has not been easy. So if you're entering this industry, be aware that we are still trying to get back on our feet after COVID and the strikes. The voice acting, we kept working, a lot of us, during the strike. But still, how does it affect you if you work during the strike? Well, there are a lot fewer productions than there used to be. We are still trying to get back on our feet. So there's, I've hear my voice acting friends complaining, and even I felt a little of it. We're not doing as many auditions as months ago. But this is something that comes with being an artist. This is the stuff that comes with being an artist. Do you get what you deserve in life? No, you get what you negotiate. So how do you negotiate as a voice actor? Because let me tell you, the hustle is real. So you're trying to get started, you might come from a small town, you might know the local radio people, you might know the local lawyer, you might negotiate a little deal. Let me do your voice recording for your telephone messages, or let me do a couple of ads for your business or something. Or you wrote a book, girlfriend, let me do the voice of your book. Audiobooks, all the genres. Look at this, y'all. There's audiobooks, there's e-learning, there's children e-learning, there's teenager e-learning, then there's animation, then there's anime, then there's ADR, which is like dubbing. A lot of that because of streaming. I just dubbed a Brazilian movie that Netflix picked up, and they want it in English. And I sure hope it's successful, and that actor that I voice gets a lot more work. but that, even like I was mentioning earlier, my student Valina, when we talked about sounding real, I used as an example in a class one time, I said, and I just love the subway. Watch for closing doors, please. That's a voice actor. In airports and shopping malls, in buses, those voices. If you see something, say something. Those are voice actors. And I said, there's this one woman I love. She's just such a New Yorker. She chose her words. And she's on the subway and she goes, watch your bags, the elevator's over there. And if you say something, and I'm just cracking up because this lady is so New York. She's like somebody who's sitting next to you on the subway. And the land goes up, Belina goes, that's me. And She said, and I came to class because I think I sound too real. I said, you. I said, here's a woman who is the voice of New York, the subway, no doubt, and still wonders if she is just enough. It's like when I hear people who have Southern accents and they say, I'm coming to get rid of my Southern accent. I said, well, just cut off your right arm while you're at it, because it's so much a part of you. This is a journey where you're going to have to find your authenticity. What is it that, what I say, what's your special sauce? What is it that's going to make you stand out of the crowd? You know, is it the smile in your voice? Is it the gruffness? Is it that guy on Arby's who says, we've got the beat? That man sounds like every time he just took a bite of a rib. I believe him. You know, start listening. That's your homework too. Start listening to every voice out there. Close your eyes so you're not distracted and start listening to those voices and start listening to what we call the values or the qualities of those voices. When I say Morgan Freeman, what does that bring to mind?
Wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom.
The voice of God.
The voice of God. That's right. And so that's assurance and safety. When I say Pee Wee Herman, Takira, you just laughed.
Bicycle, bicycle.
Fun. Okay. Viola Davis.
Glass.
Regal.
Somebody named.
Powerful.
Ryan Seacrest.
Casual.
This is
Voyage
American
almost.
Idol. That's what I think of.
Yeah, like the guy next door kind. So I want you to start jotting down. What's your voice? If we were to throw your name out here and say, okay, Evelyn, hey, Evelyn, good to see you. Evelyn's one of my students online. Evelyn, you doing good?
Greetings, Rolonda. Between boutique and getting the equipment and getting that down packed before I start into all of the other accoutrements. Yes, and I love as you say, you know, you do it at your pace because, you know, life happens, but that doesn't mean anything. You just do it when you can. So that's where I am right now, but you know, I'm there.
That's good. Well, I can track y'all and see where you are. And you know, and that's the beauty of it. I used to, I teach this 6-week course and I used to do it, you know, when you showed up and you had to be there for the course and people were like, Rolonda, I got stuff to do. I can't be there. So would you make a course that we can take anytime? And it's like 6 modules that drip out every week and about, you know, it's like 5 to 10 lessons under each module. And it take you from everything from building your studio at home. And also what we talk about a lot is and I want to discuss here too, is remember, it's a mentality thing, y'all, because it's a tough business. And you take your time and soak it all in. And don't spend a lot of money on equipment right now. But, you know, we'll teach you how to set up an area that you can feel comfortable with to record and how to break down scripts and all of that. But right now is what I'm saying is being in that learning curve. If you want to take this as a dream to a reality, learn those basic things, the vocabulary. How does the business work? What are casting directors looking for? What do clients expect of me? How can I get work and I'm not in a union? How can I get in the union? How much am I supposed to charge? How much do I make? When is it time to get an agent? How do I make a demo reel? Now, see, that's the thing that I want you to really think about, because the demo reel is like your calling card in this industry. And it is a professionally done reel. Don't get Bubba in them who play League of Legends all day, edit your demo reel for you, okay? I want you to, no offense to League of Legends, because I'm a Lowy on League of Legends. But don't get Pookie in them to make your demo reel, is what I'm saying. Get a real professional producer. What is a demo reel? Well, it's an example of your work. in about a minute, 10 seconds. Don't go over a minute, 10, 15, because let me tell you something. The first 3 seconds, people are going to know whether they want you or not. So don't waste your time. And they're not going to listen. So a minute, minute 10. What does that mean, Rolonda? Well, it means 3 to 5 voices that show your range in one genre. Now, when you're making your demo reel and everything, now listen, if you don't hear me say anything else here, curious ones, determined ones, dreamers who are about to be solopreneurs, if you don't hear me say anything else, everything you do should be toward this demo reel. Because for you to find 3 to 5 different voices with beautiful ranges in one genre is going to tell everybody you've done the work. Not as easy as it sounds. So what does that mean? Well, let's say you decide, because you see all these genres, and trust me, y'all, there's more. Let me keep going. There's podcast dramas. You talk about you never know where your voice will take you. I did a podcast drama in 2023. And please, y'all go listen for it. It's on Audible, and it's called I Think You're Projecting. And it's it's an erotic thriller. And I play a psychologist. Oh, it's so good. But we got an Audible note that we were the best podcast in mysteries and thrillers for Audible. And that's where your voice can take you. These podcast dramas are no joke. A lot of the authors right now, when you talk about audiobooks, a lot of these authors like Patterson and all of these mystery people are getting major actors to come in, and not just an audio book read, but the whole thing acted out with a narrator. So, and I've seen them advertise the audio presentation. They're calling Audible dramas in Times Square. Okay. And let me tell you how popular audiobooks and podcasts became after COVID, because COVID flipped our industry on its ear. Okay. Everybody started working from home, because before we would rent offices or go to a studio just to do the audition and then turn around and beat traffic back home. Now we go in our closets and do it. Thank you, COVID, for that. I mean, that's been a blessing. The other side of it, you'll hear a lot of artists say, yeah, but I really miss the director saying, go back and do it this way, because then you knew what they were looking for. Because you're going to be working by yourself and you're not going to have any idea what they're looking for. So part of your journey is being able to have enough information to act upon excellence. That when you don't know what they're looking for, you know what you're going to do. And as actors, we say, we'd say, step out on a strong choice. You make a strong choice because you don't know what they're thinking. I mean, the casting director may not want you because you sound like his ex-wife. We have no, I mean, seriously, stuff like that. So you have no control over anything except your performance and your know-how. And I don't care how much you put in your brain, until you put it to practice, it's not going to all come together. So, approaching this in a spiritual way, in a business way, and in an artistic way, it's a whole ball of wax, folks. It's not just getting a microphone and showing up with a script, start talking. I want you to know what's going to happen. Now that demo reel, let's say you decide you want to do commercials, and let's say that you can play. Let's say, Willie, you're gonna do commercials. I want to hear you selling a truck. I mean, I don't know what your voice is, but let's say it's a kind of guy voice. I want to hear you selling a truck, selling some barbecue, being a dad, a loving husband for Valentine's Day, and then just a nerdy guy. I don't know, but I want 5 different characters. You see what I'm saying? So learning the art of the acting and building characters and your pacing and your tonality and all of those things is what's going to make a beautiful story. Our job is storytelling at the end of the day. Anybody got questions?
You have session. Carry on. Appreciations.
Really? Willie, is that you?
Yes.
Willie, say something for me because you got that voice, and I know everybody's been telling. How would you describe your voice, Willie?
The voice I have, the voice we have.
But would you call it raspy or hoarse? Because I have a raspy voice.
Oh yeah, it's versatile. My voice do versatile stuff.
Yeah,
Versatile.
yeah, but Willie, you know what? All that raspiness and all of that gravel, and get you a Rosé's thesaurus, folks, so you can look up adjectives to describe yourself. Because the first thing somebody's going to ask you is, how would you describe your voice? And that's beautiful texture. It's textured, Willie. You could sell a good dark liquor.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I
Liquor.
swear. Or you could be a
Yeah.
cowboy in a video games. Video games are fun.
Narrate a book.
He
I
can
was like,
narrate
the
a book or a
Allstate.
cowboy.
I was like, did the Allstate guy enter the chat? Hold on.
Supply prices.
Yeah, Willie, did you have a
Allstate.
question? And we're gonna come to you, Chibuzo.
Plenty concerns. Yeah, you're speaking. You're covering plenty. I have plenty concerns. Yet you're already rolling with it.
Oh, good.
Rolling.
Oh, good. We're tapping in the same place. Good. Good. I hope so. I hope so. And I, the main thing, Willie, is I want to encourage you because look, I have this motto, and I know it's very corny because I get corny a lot, but it's when you're prepared, you're no longer scared. Because it's such a scary industry, because it's so mysterious. You don't trust anybody, you don't know where to begin, but you know you can do this. And you don't want to leave those coins on the table. And you don't want to say, I could have, because it's going to haunt you until you try. It's going to haunt you because your gifts drag you where you're supposed to go. And here's the thing about being a voice actor, and I put together a little tape for y'all to tell you the reasons I think you should be a voice actor, but it is just one of the most freeing, creative things. You work on your own, you hustle on your own. It's a very solitary life. I mean, you are in there with scripts if you're lucky, and a microphone and a computer and some headgear and your imagination, and that's it. But I am standing proof here that you can make it work. Even with my big name as Rolonda and everybody knew my voice, I couldn't book anything until I understood what was going on in the voice acting industry. Otherwise, I was wasting my time. And I took a class, I took workshops, and my career soared after that. I didn't even know I was doing voiceovers when I was doing the Rolonda show, talking about coming up today on Rolonda. That was a voiceover. I didn't know. And nobody was telling me. Okay? So I'm here to lift the lid and let you know, y'all, there's money in them there hills. And if there's something that you want to turn from a dream into reality, just get the techniques, get the strategy, get the skills, get the mindset, get thee to a classroom and practice, practice, practice. Just like you couldn't pick up a flute and start playing Brahms or a guitar and start playing whoever, Prince, you've got to learn this stuff. It doesn't fall off a truck and into your ear. Chibuzo, let's get to some questions. And then I'm going to play the 10 reasons. I call it a few darn good reasons I think you should be a voice actor. All right, go Chibuzo.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. So first of all, thank you for providing us this platform. And I'm very new to the industry. I've registered my LLC back in 2021, started officially in 2022, finally did my commercial demo after some classes I took in New York and also remote from my place in 2023. After we get to that point of getting our first commercial demo, which I've heard from talent agents, that is your first step to go because it's the most popular genre. What are the recommended steps? Like, is it getting a website first? Is it, what types of tangible steps you recommend for those of us who do our first commercial demo to start that self-marketing?
Well, I would immediately say get a website. Because when people know who you are these days and age, and let me tell you something, I fought it too. But the reality is that's the way of the world today. You can fight it all you want, you'll get left behind and disappear. So a website where you house your stuff, where you can, because at some point you're going to do more than just a commercial demo. You'll have an animation demo. You might take a class and have a demo of nothing but accents. So you want a house where they can go and check out your stuff. And so one of the things I always advise is to pick a genre and stick with that one for that reel. You don't want to put your animation, your promos, and your commercials all on one reel, because listen, if I'm a casting director and I say, wow, Kiko, I really want to hear your audiobook stuff, and I have to wade through the animation and the promos and the commercials to get there, I am not going to do that. So get specific about what demo reel you're going to have and make sure that all of those characters sound different. One of the things you're going to be working on in classes and workshops is understanding how to find your range. You know, and a really low voice. You know, do you have you speak accent, or do you also speak Cockney? I mean, I mean, all of those things. Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak Japanese? These are things that are what we're going to say only grow your wheelhouse, so to speak. Let's mute people. Yeah, that are going to oh, hey, Felicia. I hope that's my spellman, Felicia. Things that are only going to expand your wheelhouse. If you can whistle like a bird, if you can hawk like, listen, on Curious George, I'm also Compass the pigeon. You know, sometimes things will happen where when you take on a job like an animation, the union says that they can hire you for 5 characters on one contract. And a lot of times what'll happen is they'll get the script and they go, oh, darn it, we didn't get the pigeon. And I say, who wants to play the pigeon? Everybody's like, you know, we're like little kids, all of us grown people, you know. And so they had each one go around and coo. And so I was, so I got the pigeon. I'm Compass. But be prepared that right there, but I wasn't scared because I was prepared. I played birds, monkeys, everything in class and improv, comedy. I was ready for an opportunity that came up in the studio like that. A lot of people would say, well, oh my God, I'm in front of William Macy and I'm in front of Frank Welker. I can't coo like a pigeon. Baby, I'll squawk like a pigeon. I'll swoop down like an eagle, whatever it takes. And that's the beauty of what we do, is that it's fun, and if you're prepared, it's free. That's okay, because you're excited about it. You know, I believe one of my favorite words in the English language is enthusiasm, because entheos means in God. And so when you're really enthusiastic about something and it just sends butterflies, and I've been in the business 30 years, and you hear me. You say voice acting, I say, yeah, let's talk about it. You know, I love it. I'm the one running around the conventions. I can't get enough of it because it has saved my life a lot of times. You know, when my talk show was over and I moved from New York to LA, I had to come up with some new stuff. As soon as I started acting, the strike happened back then. It was one of those longest strikes in Hollywood, and I had to come up with something. And that voice acting saved my tuchus. I'm here to tell you, people. And that Curious George residuals, you know, what we as actors live on for 20-something years, let me tell you. So, you know, you may go in and do a commercial and get paid a little bit of money, but if that sucker runs, let me tell you, one day, 1 hour of work, sometimes it's 10 minutes of work, and you get paid and paid and paid. So what you want to do is get as much volume of this over here, a little bit over here, a little something over here, but you got to have skills, baby. And you've got to be able to switch from commercial. And now I can do animation. Give me a video game script. Give me that promo over here. That takes practice. And you don't want to be practicing the wrong thing. You don't know what you don't know. Save yourself years by understanding what's happening in the business in real time. And like I say, I have a fabulous class, but everybody's got a class. but make sure that you really apply. You've got to practice in this thing. I can't say it enough. You can't just sit and listen and take notes. Definitely take notes. Note takers are money makers. But you've got to practice. That's what I love about the classroom atmosphere too. In my classroom, I've been teaching this class, hundreds of students have come through. You have a community built in. Come on, let's work some scripts. Let's get over here on Clubhouse and work some scripts together. Let's go to this convention together. Let's call each other. I got a mic. Anybody looking for a mic? We have a private Facebook page. We see each other. We connect with each other. And, when you need somebody to work some scripts with you, does this sound right? Am I doing, you'll have a checklist that you shared. You've got the same information that you work from. We are going to see in a lot of scripts, things like non-announcery, sound is real. Even when we're doing cartoons today, all those cartoons are kind of dying away. And now bears just sound like us. That a lot of that, you're not hearing that. And I think a lot of that came after COVID and the political system and the Floyd stuff and all of that. People were just, and so voices became a lot more real, like the people we hear next door, because we're talking about heavy stuff. You're trying to get somebody, are you the nurse who can say, I really need you to go and get vaccinated because immunity is going to save our community. How do you tap into that? Well, I tell my students, tap into real life. You got a grandma you don't want to die of COVID. You've got children who you're afraid they're going to get hit by a car. I mean, we all are human. So what I teach a lot is tapping into your own human experience to find that emotion. And I also believe in visualization. If you're going to sell me Papa John's pizza, want to drool. So you're going to have to tap into the deliciousness of that pizza, or are you going to tap into the fact that I need a meal quick? That's breaking down the script. What is my client trying to say here? And that'll determine your pacing, your timing, your tonality, your point of view. People love to hear somebody's attitude and know where they're coming from. You're at all of those little things that are authentically you are going to make a difference. Let me tell you how I got the Judge Joe Brown job. I was in there auditioning and they ran the promo, and the promo was to say, coming up next on Judge Joe. And then they cut to, you remember back in the 90s, it was trash talk TV and everybody was crazy. And it cut to a soundbite of the girl saying, I don't key his car because I know my baby. And then I would come back and say, and then the next thing, but I was so busy looking at the visual, I came back and went, whoop, on the next Judge Joe. And they fell out. They loved it. It was an accident, but it was a point of view. I was like the daytime audience who was like, on the next Joe. Get him, Joe. And they would let me improvise because I brought myself to the table. Now, that doesn't always work. Sometimes they'll think you're crazy. But I think if you were somebody, another thing that I do is I bring in a laugh. Professor Wiseman laughs a lot. Or I'll say, coming up on Sherry, because you're bringing in your laugh, your smile. My client sells joy, okay? So I can't come on and say, on the next Sherry. On the next Sherry. You don't hear all that, but I'm bringing it on, you know what I'm saying? So being aware of those types of things, but being able to have that kind of knowledge in your hip pocket of what am I looking for? Where are my clues? How can I nail this? Where can I find the funny? As Sherry says, funny girls always work. That's what Joan Rivers or somebody told her. I hope you guys are going over to YouTube and checking out my new YouTube channel, y'all. It's called Voice Acting with Rolonda. And y'all are going to find all kinds of good stuff over here. I mean, and I just started doing this, common mistakes that people make. This is a few darn reasons y'all should be voice actors. I say, I'm going to play that for you. But this is, I would also say, using social media, even if there are people like, or platforms like TikTok that has a huge voice acting community. Instagram also, I would join Facebook groups, Instagram groups, TikTok that are voice acting oriented. I would put in hashtag voice actors and punch it, see what comes up. And start listening to who are your favorites. Check out your live announcers. You got Kesha Monk, who's the voice of the Tonys. You got, the MC Light, who does the BET Awards, I believe. And you've got, and so the list is starting. Who are these folks? Althea, let's hear from you.
Do you go over this like strategies on tackling the scripts that you read so that you can not necessarily have to go through it multiple times?
Well, you're still going to have to go through it multiple times. That I will say. But you will know what you're looking for. You also will learn little things like don't make every meeting don't make every sentence sound the same. Or where can I add a little humor? Or where maybe I should be wry, or maybe I should be more empathetic here. And how can I maybe make it sound 3 different ways? So you're always practicing. I think when I do an audition, it may be one line, and I swear I do it a bunch of different ways, depending upon the mood or the tone or the angle I want to come from. Some people say, boy, I had coffee worse than you. I had heartburn yesterday. Heartburn means something different to me than you. It might be like, I don't want to tell him I had heartburn yesterday. It was worse than yesterday's coffee. I might be, girl, I had heartburn so bad it was worse than yesterday's coffee. So you never know what strong decision you may make, but the bottom line is, what is your truth? And I think this is an industry that and a craft that makes you dig into who you are too. And I think that that's one of the things I know that in my course, I'm all about self-discovery. You're not just figuring out your voice, figuring out who you are behind that voice. And what is it about you that's going to make you stand out? What is your special sauce? And that's a lot of what we bring to the table. That empathy, that authority, that concern and sympathy, that humor, that wryness. I keep saying wry because I guess I'm thinking about going back home to New York where everybody's kind of wry, it's gonna throw it away. And if a director told you, okay, now do that again and throw it away, what does that mean? So y'all, go to Rolonda.com. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's really easy. You can go and check out my course if you want to take, we can do free webinars all the time, but I want you to take the knowledge and apply it. Knowledge is not power. It's the application of knowledge that is the power. And this is an industry and craft and art that you must practice, 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 and practice it correctly with people who are like-minded and like-hearted like you. Surround yourself with a good community of people, working with a teacher who is actually working in the business right now and has a track record. You can trust me. You know where to find me. And also so you can learn what's happening in the industry right now. It is changing like this all the time. And don't miss this opportunity. Don't wait another year and not have taken action, because you'll have to start all over again. And I tell you, I get a lot of people who are pros in the industry, but have had to come back because they just didn't keep up with what was happening after COVID and got lost, just derailed their careers because they just didn't know what was going on. We've got a lot of diversity today. It used to be just the middle America type voice. Now you hear textured voices, you hear transgender voices, you hear rich, deep, authentic voices from everywhere, Brazilian voices, you hear Indian voices. So it's more inclusive, this industry. So what is expected of you? in the industry. And that's important to know too. And you'll be in a nourishing atmosphere. Go to Rolonda.com and all of everything is broken down. You push that little button that says, tell me more about Rose class. And it will break down everything in every module. And you've got some folks here who are taking it right now. Evelyn's in there, and Tanya, and Brayley, and you can call, tag them and ask them questions as well. But, and you know what, set up a discovery call with me too.
Well, ever since 2006, how has it been working alongside like voiceover legends like Jeff Bennett, Rob Paulson, Frank Welker, Great Allow, E.G. Daily, Jim Cummings, among others? How's it been? For
You really know your stuff. Those are the tops in the business. And Gray Delisle too, Makai. I tell you, it's wonderful. And we have so much fun. I tell you what, the voice acting industry is a wonderful community. And you've probably heard me say this before, but it's kind of unlike the physical acting community, which can be a little cutthroat because we eat our young in that industry. But the voice acting industry, people tend to be a lot more laid back, a lot more accepting, and we support each other. There are times when I might have an audition and it may not be completely right for me, but I'll know somebody who this might be great for. And I'll call them, or if I hear of something, I'll grab one of my students, or, we're always looking out for each other. Let me give you a perfect example. Dave Fenoy, who is like, he does all the big gaming. He's a major guy in the industry, and my mentor, actually. I remember asking Dave years ago, Dave, can you really make a living doing this? And he was kind of like, he looked at me and said, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. I bought a couple of houses. Then it made sense. But yeah, the industry is when you talk about people like that, the E.G. Dailies when you hear these names, look them up and find out who they are. The Cree Summer, working with her on Rugrats has been amazing. It's just a great, there's so much to discover. So please learn those names and start looking them up.
Do you really need a website? I mean, can you have a separate Instagram page for your voiceover that they could check out, or Facebook? I'm going to say Instagram because that's more. Yeah, well, Instagram is fun, and that's how they get to know you as a person, I think. And it's always good to throw up, like, I noticed some of my students will do fun things on TikTok or Instagram, like, hey, look, I just got my brand new microphone. I'm so excited. And they'll do a whole thing about it, which is also letting the public know, hey, y'all, I'm a voice actor now. I'm taking this seriously. It's kind of those buzz things. Your website doesn't have to be, it could be one page. But but casting directors have a place to go and hear your work that is specifically for that. Don't make it tough for them to look through your food and your vacation picture stuff to try to get to hear your work. Even if it's one page, and y'all, you can get somebody at Fiverr or Upwork to make you a website page, get your cute little picture and some little anime. It's so easy to do this stuff today, y'all. Right. And to someplace, it's a landing page for you to show your talent. You might have some pictures up there of you behind the microphone and maybe some little snippets from a commercial or something you made. But I think it's nice to have a hub where you can have somebody see your work. Yeah. So I do have, I have a separate page for my podcast. Nothing but podcast stuff going there. That's what I was asking. Can I do a separate page for the voice acting? It'll be just Tanya D voiceover, voice actor for Instagram. I'll have 3 pages. I'll have 3 accounts. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I've started to take my TikTok account, and all I'm doing, because I put up a lot of shorts on my YouTube channel for voice acting, and I'm using those same shorts and putting them over there on TikTok. And I don't get TikTok, and y'all ain't gonna see me dancing too much. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna double my money and send those shorts over to TikTok. So if you go to my TikTok channel on Rolonda Watts TikTok channel, mostly all you see is voice, and Tanya, you'll see over there practicing. I put her to work. You can see me putting my students to work over there. In fact, wait a minute. Let me take a quick little look over here. Listen, yes, everybody needs to take that class. You have so much fun.
We had so much.
And you learn so much. And hey, Mike, that's my baby daddy from the voiceover the voiceover conference.
I know, for the conference. Wait
I learned so. Listen, you all got to get to that voiceover conference because I learned a lot.
That was VO Atlanta. Yeah. Is this page sharing now? Can y'all see?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna give you an example of what I put my students through. All right, here we go.
Planning a trip? Connect with hotel experts. There was some line in there. Planning a trip with hotel experts. There was some line in there about, oh, you can go wherever you want. I mean, that's the dream. And you can do that because you got a little extra change in your pocket. Oh my God. I don't believe it. My life is over. I try out for the week. I get the part of number 2. When they say excited, I want you to think about for this little girl, what that play meant for her. Take a deep breath, settle down into your soul and relax. See the picture before you start, take your time, and then get in character and approach the mic. When you own a business, every day is perpetual motion. So what if you could stop and really look around? You'd probably see new ways to save money, starting with energy costs. And Georgia Power can help.
Nice.
And I plugged into them stuff.
That's all right. Listen, if you flub up, that's just human. Don't beat yourself up. Keep going. And don't be going like, oh, because then you're totally out of character. You lose your character. And it takes so much to get back there. Okay. So just stop, pause. Remember, we can edit. Take a breath and keep going right where you left off. And just remember, when you go back, you'll just edit it together and nobody will ever know. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Most people want to make $1 billion. If I'm in financial trouble, I won't let go of my hand. This is where that war, you're going to take something as cold as finances and as harsh as and horrible as saving money, because this is obviously for people who haven't saved. So I want that kind of grandmama love. Baby, it's going to be all right kind of assurance. I think that's in your special sauce that you can bring to this. Talk to that one person. So go back in there and find some emotional moments. Pick somebody and give them that love. You know they're in trouble. What you going to say to them? Well, smile, because remember, you've just solved a problem. What if we could get rid of all that debt and you could go and get that car? You know what I'm saying? So give me different layers and make it interesting, like a great conversation. Go on.
When you own a business, every day is perpetual motion. So what if you could stop and really look around? You probably see new ways to save money, starting with energy costs.
Wow, I believe you. That's the lady, you know, she's like the lady you see at the post office that you always go to her window. You know, that's like your auntie who's telling you, now this is how you apply for a scholarship. You sound like somebody I want to hear. That's that blessed. You can sell insurance every day because of how well you sell blessed assurance. Good stuff. Who's next? Nikita.
Planning a trip? Connect with hotel experts. Our expert representatives will find you a great deal on wherever you're going.
All right. All right. Girl, I was still on the vacation. I was walking down the beach. There was some line in there about, oh, you can go wherever you want. I mean, that's the dream. And you can do that because you got a little extra change in your pocket. Think about how advertisements are happening these days. It's almost like the algorithm is in your freaking phone. I mean, you say the word depends and they send you diapers. I mean, you know, it's that, where are they listening to me? So planning a vacation. So you're tapping into what's already there. Yeah. But I don't have enough money. Here's a way you can save money. So you're really tapping into every problem. And then at the end, wherever that beat is, oh, you're that moment. So listen, I don't even have enough money or time to talk to you right now, much less take a vacation. But God, I'm thinking about it right now. Need a vacation? Think about that. You're talking to that one person. So let's see somebody in your head who you know in your life really needs a vacation. And let's talk to them.
Planning a trip? Connect with the hotel experts. Our expert representatives will find you a great deal on wherever you're going.
Okay. Now, see, one of those, that kind of script is something I would like to see you live with for a day or two. You know, sometimes you get those auditions and they say you got a day or two to turn it in. Spend that time wisely. Read it immediately so it's in your system, operating on your subconscious level already. Then start
keeping your eyes open. You're in your way right now. But I bet if you kept reading that, practice, and feeling it, living with it, really giving that character breath, seeing what you're talking about. Nikita, what vacation did you dream of when you were reading it?
Going to St. Thomas.
Okay. I'm that girl who's dreaming of Turks and Caicos. Do I need a vacation? So tap into that feeling like, damn, I need a vacation. If I could go any place. And if it didn't cost so doggone much, I'd have been there. But I'm still thinking about need a vacation, something that'll leave a little change in your pocket. You know, and maybe try it 3 different ways, 3 different points of view, from here. Now I'm going to try it like, ooh, you've been upset. Do you need a vacation? I mean, however you approach it, just find just play it different ways, just for fun. And that'll be great practice for you. But find the truth in these stories, y'all. I don't need readers. We need actors in our industry, not readers. Good job, Nikita. Really good job. Okay, hit it, T.
Oh my God. I don't believe it. My life is over. Tree number 2, I try out for the lead and I get the part of tree number 2. I'm not doing this. Can't be a tree. I was born to be the queen.
I just love your daring spirit. I like those choices as you're developing characters. It's for animation more so, of course, not a commercial.
Right.
But bringing in some of those qualities that you can have fun with. Pay her buck tooth. Or she can, every time you talk, her voice goes up and down. Or, remember the guy who always talked like this when he was doing, play with your vocal cords. That's fun stuff. When they say excited, I want you to think about, for this little girl, what that play meant for her. Was this her first audition? Did she dream of this all her life? Was she like me, who wore a subway token around her neck and just wanted to get in the play? Did she tell her mom? Did she tell everybody? I want to hear some kind of pre-life, something, even if it's like please. Oh, no. And that entered it. But I need a little of that excited that tells me, because you don't want to just, you want to give me something to lean in for.
Okay.
So you're an excited little girl. Oh, oops, what happened? And then you tell me the story. So think about that. If you see it, you'll show it.
Oh, I don't believe it. My life is over. Tree number 2.
Okay, wait. Go back. Is that the way you see disappointment? I don't know about you, but I might walk up there and go like, I don't believe it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe. I really don't believe.
Somebody standing behind me and sees my name not on the list. Oh shit! I can't believe my whole life is gonna be right. And then Bill, give yourself somewhere to go.
Okay.
If you start here, there's nowhere to go.
Okay.
And you're gonna run the risk of being plateaued out. But give me some layers, real shit that people do when they get disappointed. They don't immediately go off. So take me on that deep web of journey of a human experience. Because the treat is at the end, she figures it out. But right now, man, this is stepped up, and this is the stuff that life is about. So have fun with that journey and tell the truth. So y'all go over there and check it out. We got a lot of fun stuff, and get ready to put yourself to test. I mean, those are some brave souls. Tanya, you always do such a great job. You're so brave. But those are brave souls doing that, and they're cracking their chests open and doing what they love. Yeah, Sierra, your turn. Thank you, Tanya.
So I actually come from a broadcast background, and I guess my problem is, when in journalism, like, you have to project, you have this voice, but it's like when you're reading commercial, it's like trying to humanize yourself again. It's like it's hard for me to transition. But I do, now that I do lifestyle, so I do lifestyle television now versus when I did hard news. So now it's like I have a lot more of my personality, but I still feel too animated. But I feel like this is actually a part of my personality, not necessarily even the experience that I have in television. So what, with you coming from kind of the same background, how are you able to rehumanize yourself, if that makes sense?
I so love how you acknowledge that broadcasters are not human. I love that.
Yeah, we're in industry where we are young there too. But you know what? That was really a tough thing for me, Sierra. And I tell you, the hardest thing that you're going to face in this industry is being yourself. As you're beginning, you're going to swear you're supposed to be so much more. And there's something that happens when you get behind that microphone, even with all the seasoning that you have, you get behind that microphone and then all of a sudden you change. Everything becomes gravitas, and and it's not. You're just supposed to be, even with your mistakes. Sometimes it's okay to send in little mistakes. That's how real people are today. And that's a hard thing to do. It's like turning you inside out like an orange. I got my first glimpse of that when I was coming from news and Inside Edition and ABC and NBC, and then moving into my own talk show, which was Rolonda, not a news person. It was just Rolonda. And I remember Roger King, my co-producer, said, he said, would you stop being that doggone reporter and just be Rolonda? And I was like, yeah, but I'm kind of silly. I got a Southern accent. I laugh really loud. And I don't think that's good enough. He goes, that's who you are. And the public is not going to buy anything else. They don't want that reporter. They want to sit down and have lunch with you. And it was like, so I would go through, back then we had magazines, and I would go through and I would rip out, who am I talking to? Because I had to really connect in who my audience was. And I would pull out the little picture of the little girl with the Dorothy Hamill haircut and the lady rocking her baby. And then I knew it kind of put me into a kind of, that's who I was talking to. Well, I apply much of that to voice acting, because Sierra, you're broadcasting. Broadcasting means I am broadcasting to the world. When this industry is, you are talking to one person across the table. Very rarely are you talking to more than one person. Like in a commercial, it tends to be more intimate. Now, of course, it depends. Every question, and a lot of us laugh at this. We always say, have you noticed that every question in voice acting the answer begins with, it depends. But for the most part, it's a very intimate craft. And it's a craft where you want people to lean in and hear your story and believe you. It's about believability. Is my performance good? If I believe you, it didn't have, it's not about being perfect. It's about getting it done and being as natural and authentic as you can. And that's where those techniques of acting come in. That's where class comes in. And improv and all those things, those wonderful, what do you call it? Not workshops, but the exercises that we do to reach those places. It's hard to tap in, but you just keep coming in. Sierra, in fact, we had a Emmy Award-winning anchor woman, Michelle Brown, from Connecticut. She came and took my course, and she was ready to get out of the news thing. And I had her trying some stuff, and she took an animation thing, because she was like, I'm just so into myself. I can't break out of it. I'm starting to sound monotone. I'm looking. And so she came in, and so she started reading this character, and all of a sudden, this Jamaican woman came out of her, and she started talking, and we were like, what? She said, all of my family is Jamaican. You would never know that in her broadcast anchorwoman voice. But baby, when she had that character, even to the point of, what the Jamaican women do when they're like, and it was brilliant. But it was tapping into what she knew. Sometimes the best people to play are our own family. But she got a whole nother wheelhouse born out of that. And it was a safe place for her, because it was part of who she is. She knows that, auntie. Nobody's getting that job. That's her job. She knows that, auntie. And who says she couldn't be Jamaican? So I would do one take, regular, just like they wanted. And maybe that second take, I would throw in my special sauce.
Now, when people get these roles, like whenever you get a role, do they allow you to create the personality, or do they give you, like in acting, like a backstory on this character, and then it's up to you to develop that voice?
In voice acting, they pretty much give you a few words to describe. They don't give you a long, unless video games will give you a whole freaking book about the history of each character. But for the most part, when you get like a commercial or an animation, and this is very important, y'all, always read the instructions carefully about labeling, about what tone. Sometimes they'll say an accent or an age. I can remember I would barreling through, get an audition done. And then I went back and read, did I do what they said? And they were like, they wanted a 30-year-old. And I clearly gave a 60-year-old voice. And I had to go do it all over again. If I just read the directions, I'd have been okay. But yeah, they'll say things like sassy, irreverent, but still has a heart. Think Niecy Nash. They'll do things like that. That doesn't want you to sound like Niecy Nash, but have the element of Niecy Nash. What does that mean? A Wanda Sykes. You see what I'm saying about what are those qualities? If you don't know who that is, look these people up. Glenn Close, Kate Blanchard. What is that they're saying to me? So these are the things that you learn. And Sierra, honey, it's going to take so much practice. Just get ready, because you're going to blow that mic out a few times. But when you're sitting in the saddle and you've practiced enough and you know how to tap in as an actor, not a broadcaster, and you're not reading, you're acting, it will naturally come into play. I promise you that. And the beauty is that you're not scared of the mic. So you come in and it's going to be your acting chops that are going to help you whittle it down, bring it in, visualize it, who you're talking to. I'm very much about Uta Hagen. I loved Uta Hagen. I studied Uta Hagen. And Uta asked 9 questions. And these questions are like, who are you talking to? Where have you been? Where are you going? What is the atmosphere? And I love that because it helps you get out of your own way so that you can really study and create these characters based on, and a lot of times if the script doesn't tell you that, the more you know about who this character is going to be, it's going to come across as a fully developed person on the other side of that microphone. When someone is listening, they're not going to hear an actor reading a script. They're going to really hear Mary, who has a headache and needs an Advil right now, And a lot of that is tapping into what we do in commercials is we sell pain, and then we give the solution. So there's a rhythm to all of that, and learning how to do that. And so the confidence, I think the number one thing people get when they graduate from my class or any class is a confidence that it really takes to win in this game. Being really confident, and we don't have the answers. Nobody has the answers. But you know that you made a strong choice, and there's nothing like feeling good about your audition, no matter what happens. You know you did the right thing, and you had all of this information to work with that the industry expects of you. And that's all you can do. But you don't have a chance if you don't know what you're doing. You don't waste that time and embarrass yourself, because you only get one time to make a good first impression. And it's a small industry and people remember you. So really have your game together. Please don't go make a demo reel without a class. And like I say, you're welcome to take mine. You go to Rolonda.com, set up a discovery call. Let's talk about it. But use this momentum, y'all. Use this momentum to really invest in yourself and make this happen, and make it happen for yourself. You can do that. Any other questions? And then we're going to wrap it up.
I think Frazier has one.
Hey, Frazier. Where's Frazier?
It is not a question. It is more of a compliment. I sat down for breakfast, just turned on the TV, no specific channel. And who pops up but Rolonda Watts? And you were in, it was on Temptation. And you were doing the promo about the gifts in the showroom.
That's a game show, yeah.
Right. And you were talking about a trip to Mexico on cheaptickets.com. And when you talk about authenticity, because you were like, and this is sponsored by Cheap Tickets. We all love cheap tickets, don't we? Right? And I was like, it sounded like she on the damn phone with her friends, like planning the trip. And I'm like, that's authentic. So
You know,
I felt the realness in it.
thank you, Fraser. It's amazing what I've gotten away with. But that's being daring. And that's being true to who I am. And I'm pretty a risk taker. I mean, what's the worst they're going to say is no. But it's true, you know, and I come from daytime TV and talk shows. Well, that's the way we look at TV. We talk to the screen. Now, you know, you want a cheap ticket to Mexico, so go and call it. But yeah, little things like that when you're confident and it's appropriate. And those are things you can try in your auditions. Those are things you can try in your workshops. Even if you took a Saturday workshop and did improv, this is where all that comes from. It's just the training, the practice, and the knowing what, you know, like I always say, having that hip in your hip pocket. Yes, Dawn.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hey.
How's everyone doing? Yay! Just to piggyback off of what Frazier was saying, you just I love you, Rolonda. You are so real. And I watched you on the Sherry show, and then I happened to turn the other week, and you were silver circle inductee.
Silver circle inductee.
Yes,
for the Emmys. Girl, can you believe I won this for voice work?
See? And I said,
you know,
in both like Sherry and on there, they vocaled how you are such a help to people, you know, and I just want to say thank you, because it wasn't until I saw you on Sherry, because I think Sherry is so real, so down to earth. And it wasn't until I saw you on that show and then saw you on the Emmy, and I say, I'm just going to reach out. I'm just going to try my luck. And I went on to Google and said, how do you get in touch with Rolonda Watts? And I tried my luck, and here I am right now with other people that's interested in the same business. And I just wanted to thank you so much, Rolonda.
You are so welcome. That means so much to me. It really does. Because, you know, what am I going to do with all this stuff in my head and all the experiences I've been through? I think that's something to share at this time in life. I can't take it with me now. It doesn't serve any purpose.
Right. And we appreciate it. I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone. We truly appreciate you.
Well, I love you for that. Now, the summer session is coming. It's a brand new season, and you might have the summer off. And this would be the perfect thing for you to do on your own time, at your own pace. And let me tell you this, I have a lot of my friends who are VO pros who come into the class, and you're going to hear their information from people like Gray Delisle, Dave Vanoy, who I spoke about, Terry Berlin, Carol Kimball, who are casting directors and agents. These are folks, Terry Apple, all these greats who are in the industry. They all give their point of view, because I think I believe success has clues. And so I always grab my most successful buddies and bring them in, because I want to learn from them too. And even if it's little things like, how do you know, because there are times you're going to want to quit. There are times when you're going to say, why am I even doing this? I am not even getting, I remember one time I was like, I am auditioning all the time and I'm not getting any work and I'm quitting. And my agent said, Rolonda, that don't even sound like you. I said, but my attitude was really bad. He said, get to a classroom, go take a class. And I did, and it got my head right. You know, because you're going to get some tough times. And then I've met some people and we got our head right. We got back into it. But the only people who don't make it in this industry, y'all, are people who quit. Because stay in it long enough, I tell you, you stay in it long enough, people get to hear you again. They hear your work improving. They see you at the VO Atlanta convention. They hear me talk about you. You're on Instagram talking about you went to my workshop and this is what you learned. You will get work. And that's what we talk about in my class too. Where do we find work? How do we impress people? How do we build relationships? I don't like that word networking. That sounds so old school. I like building relationships. And so how do you do that? But I cover everything. from soup to nuts, from building your sacred sound space, what I call it, your studio in your own home, all the way to, you know, how you find work and how you become a solopreneur, because this is all about making that money. We can make up funny voices if we want, but this is really about starting a career. Now, some of you may just want to do it as a hobby. That's fun too. That's fun too. But I think that if you really want to take it seriously, really go for it. Thank you, Dawn. Dawn, those words mean so much to me. You almost got me a little teary-eyed.
And also tell you that I love Mind Your Business.
Oh, good.
Yes, I started watching Mind Your Business. And that's yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes.
So much fun. That show, you had 2 million household views our first weekend.
Yes, I was one of them. I'm sure I was one of those views.
Well, thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you, honey. So we really appreciate you. We really appreciate you. Okay, Fakira. Ooh, I like
Hello. Hello. So I just I just wanted to say, I guess I'm piggybacking on what so many other people have actually said. So of course, my first introduction to you was the Rolonda show. That's showing my it's showing my age. But your voice has just always been infectious, and even as a teenager then, it was something that just stuck out, and I didn't learn until much later that you did voice acting, and I caught on to some of the characters that you did. But I wanted to piggyback, and the young lady probably already left the group, which as far as asking, like, is there ever a time where you're too old to do that? And I'm going to put out there what my mentor, Phyllis Rashad, actually told me, which is the day that you wake up and you question what it is that you're doing is the day that you need to hang it up, because it's not for you. So if you have that passion to actually do this, I'm still pursuing it. I have a degree in theater and have been blessed to have been taught by Phyllis Rashad and Al Freeman Jr. I am going to continue to pursue it, because you're never too old. I appreciate you. I'm Facebook friends with you, and I just want to say that you're amazing. You really connect with everybody. You treat everyone as if they're friends, as if they're family, and I just appreciate you. So peace, queen, to you.
Thank you so much. But listen, we're in this together, because I couldn't do all this without you. I tell you what, you try to do the right thing. You try to be a good person. You try to help people and get it out there. And I'm going to tell you, when I see my students doing so well and getting so happy, when you're happy, the money will come. When you're happy, the opportunities will come, and the universe will say, oh my goodness, they're serious. Oh, she's taking that class. Oh, she just talked to a producer about her demo reel. As my mama used to say, God believes in matching grants. You do your 50% and the rest will come to you. All of a sudden, you'll start meeting people. Something will pop up on YouTube, because they're following us. That'll inspire you. I just say, just do what can I do today to make me closer to my goal? What are 5 things? Now, here's your homework. What are 5 things you can do this week to take you one step closer to your goal of being a voice actor? And also, I want you to listen to voices. What commercial could you have done? Is there something that you say, oh, I could have done that, but I would have done it this way? Go to ispot.tv, where they have every commercial in the world up in there. Go and listen to those different voices. And if you hear something that you like, that you think is in your wheelhouse, write it down. Just write the script down, then go to your microphone and go try it. I mean, everything's right there at your fingertip, but I'm going to tell you, the main thing is that practice and practicing the right thing. I hope you got some great information and some really uplifting inspiration, as we say. And spread the word. Tell your friends. We're going to be doing more of these free webinars, having a good time and connecting.
And thank you so much for everyone. I enjoyed this so much.
Good. I'm so glad. I enjoyed it too. And y'all, listen, it is possible. You can do it. You took such a major step today by just showing up and hanging out with me for 2 hours, because there's 50 million other places that you could be. And I know you have 50 million other things to do. But let's keep the fun in it and the freedom of expression, the creativity, and all of that good stuff. And you know I got your back, because I want to see you win. I want you to
Thanks,
win.
Rolonda.
That's
Thank
my
you.
whole intention. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Work hard.
Thank you, Rolonda. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you so much, everybody.